Good evening, and thank you for joining us for our Take the Next Step session for early decision students. We are so excited to welcome you all to the College of Charleston family. Tonight, we're going to speak with a few of our esteemed admissions counselors. We will be led through the presentation by Laura Sanders from our in-state team and Fred Quick from our out-of-state admissions teams. We'll also have counselors monitoring the chat tonight, so if you have questions along the way, please make sure to drop them in the chat. We'll be monitoring those and answering those along the way. Tonight's session is going to cover a variety of topics that are all going to help you make your next steps towards enrollment. And as early decision students, we know that you're very excited to do so. We're going to cover how to make your enrollment deposit, setting up and using your CofC email account, registering for orientation, applying for housing, sending your final transcripts and transfer credit evaluations, what that process looks like. And we'll also talk about some pre-college program opportunities and opportunities to take part in admitted Cougar events this spring. But before we go on too much longer, I'm excited to introduce you all to Fred Quick. Again, he is one of our fantastic admissions counselors, and Fred is going to lead us through the first half of our slides. Fred?
Good afternoon, or good day, and congratulations to all you future Cougars. It is exciting to be able to talk to you. I know it is an exciting moment. We've entered it into this space where you know this is where you want to be. Now let's make it a reality. So it's time for us to make it official. In doing so, you're going to start with My Charleston. You all should already have access to your My Charleston by using your My Charleston credentials to be able to sign in. And over the course of this, My Charleston is going to be your go-to space. If you have any questions, My Charleston. If you want to pay your deposit, My Charleston. Register your classes, orientation, tuition, everything starts and stops with My Charleston. You'll get very familiar with your My Charleston login just by utilizing the resources there. Your My CofC login will be using your CofC credentials and your campus-wide identification number, so your CWID, utilizing your email address using g.cofc.edu. Once again, My Charleston is going to be your starting point, and as we move to the next slide, we'll actually go into why My Charleston is going to be important. You have already figured out that CofC is where you want to be. Now let's look at how feasible it's going to be for you. What I want to talk about on this slide is we look at your tuition and fees. There's a difference in our South Carolina students and our non-resident students. But the thing I want you to not focus on is the total cost of attendance. We're going to break down these two different things of the total direct cost and the total indirect cost. Those total direct costs are the only things that are etched in stone. That's the only thing that will remain consistent. Everything else, when you look at books and supplies, transportation, and personal expenses, those are estimations. Those are possible costs. Let's say that you are flying back and forth to Charleston from somewhere far away, or you're buying brand new books all year, every year. These are possible costs, but those aren't the actual hard down costs that you have to account for. You can really manipulate your meal plan. You can manipulate whether you're buying or renting your books. And then personal expenses, that it accounts for so many different things. You don't have to marry yourself to this overall total cost of attendance. You can actually make this more unique for yourself. Now, with that being said, everything else is kind of adjustable. Now, the housing number, that 12,341, that is a weighted average. So we do have some residence halls that are above and some that are below, and then your meal plan is actually calculated into this number here as well. So you can find a residence housing tier that works for you, that will still be a nice and up-to-date residence hall. You'll have a great community around you as well, but it literally is just a matter of you finding what fits for you and making these numbers work for you. Now, the next slide will actually go into making tuition and fees make sense. So we're going to be looking at our CSAS, or our Cougar Scholarship Awarding System. In this is where we will make the money make sense. You all should have gotten an email recently about actually being able to apply for departmental scholarships and scholarships across our community here at the College of Charleston. With this, our CSAS awarding system has been put in place so all of our departments can be in one place. So you have one application to complete, and you can apply to different departmental scholarships and different scholar programs and things of that sort within our campus community. This hub is going to be great for you. The application closes on January 10th. So the more I guess diligent you are in making sure you get everything finished, you have a stronger chance of making sure you are prepared for when the 10th comes. Another thing I want to mention on this slide is actually our Legacy Scholars Program. This is something that is relatively new. Our first cohort came in this year, and the goal of this program is actually they aim to improve the recruitment, retention, graduation, workplace success of our students of color, our Black students, through scholarship and enhanced and extended educational support. It is a very, it's a great initiative here, but it's also one that actually gets you engaged in research, gets you engaged in different programs you can be involved in the Charleston area and on our campus specifically. They've only been on campus now for 4 months, and they've made a great impact. They've been involved in different alumni events and building a lot of relationships across our campus, our alumni network, and the city of Charleston. But you can go to cfc.academicworks.com to be able to see what departmental scholarships you may be interested in and those that you qualify for. And once again, the deadline for that is going to be January the 10th. So it's best that you get a start now to make sure that you are fully prepared and aware of the scholarship opportunities that are available here. Next. Now, the funding doesn't stop there. Some of you may have seen your merit award included in your admissions decision. But in addition to that, there are alumni scholarships, athletic, as I mentioned before, departmental scholarships. The alumni and departmental scholarships and specialty scholarships will be in the CSAS. But athletic scholarships, you take that up with your coaches. And then merit-based aid, once again, was included in your admissions decision. In addition to that, there's federal and state aid. In state aid, this is for our South Carolina residents. Although we are test optional for admissions here at the College of Charleston, in the state of South Carolina, you are well aware that to be a recipient of the Palmetto Fellows, to be a recipient of the Life or Hope Scholarship, you do have to have your test scores submitted. In addition to that, we'll need your final high school transcript. That's something that's consistent for everyone, but that's not something you as a student have to worry about because that will come directly from your school counselor. So we'll need your final high school transcript and we'll need your test scores to be able to report to the South Carolina Commission of Higher Education to be able to award you your Life, Hope, or Palmetto Fellow Scholarship. But you also can qualify for direct loans, work study, and different grant programs across the campus. But keep in mind, January 10th is the deadline for our departmental scholarships. I want to consistently reiterate that to make this move make sense for you even more. I know you all are very excited to become a Cougar. And so we want to make sure that we are, if you will say, secure the bag as you secured this decision. Next slide, please. Now, paying your deposit. As I mentioned earlier, My Charleston is your hub for everything. This is your first and your one-stop shop for everything that you need. You'll go to your My Accounts tab. If you scroll to the bottom, you'll see the e-bill. This is where you can go and pay your deposit. As an early decision applicant, you received your admissions decision last week, and we gave you that decision in hopes that you'll deposit on January the 1st. So your deadline for deposit as an early decision applicant is January the 1st. And your non-refundable deposit is $400, and you pay that through your e-bill. Where you find it? In My Charleston. And hopefully you all have your My Charleston credentials ready and prepared and you're able to actually get in. And once again, this is a non-refundable deposit due on January the 1st. We can move to our next slide because we're making CFC home. And as we make it home, we want to make sure that you have a great place to lay your head. As it pertains to housing, I mentioned earlier that you can kind of pick and choose housing that works for you, whether that's a tier that works in your liking. We have a lot of different residence hall styles to choose from. Quite a few are suite style, others are historic homes. We also have one that's set up in the design of a tiny house. So there are a lot of different options. You can actually watch the videos on YouTube and actually get a tour of the residence halls that we have here so you can make your pick. But the earlier the better. And since you all are early decision applicants. February 1st, the housing application opens. And so with this, everything from you being able to find your own roommates by setting up a different roommate group or working with one of your peers who may be coming to the College of Charleston as well, you can pick the room that works for you and then also pick the roommates that kind of align with you and your level of cleanliness, your sleeping style, your personality type. You're able to build these relationships because we want to make this feel like home for you. It's your home away from home, and having that sense of community within your direct community is important. But as I mentioned, February 1st is when the housing application opens. The deadline for changes and guaranteed housing is May 1st. Fortunately for you all will be depositing on January 1st, so you don't have to worry about that. We're going to be guaranteeing housing, and then your housing assignments will go out on July the 1st. So you'll have an idea of what room you'll have so you can get to shopping and making sure that you have your room set up the way that you would like it. You'll go into the housing, the dining portal, and this is where you'll select your housing and you'll go through the other steps of selecting your meal plan as well. The next slide will take us into another important part of making sure that we're securing your space here on the campus. This is something that you as a student, once again, don't have to worry about. Your school counselors will handle this, but I do want to reiterate that we do accept AP, IB, DS, ST, CLEP, and dual enrollment credits. As long as you take your AP exam and you score 3 or better, we're going to take those credits into consideration. Your school counselor will send your final high school transcript following your graduation. So if your graduation is in June, you can expect that over the course of the month of June, your final high school transcript will be received. You don't have to get on them too much about it. They are well aware. As long as you let them know where you're going to college, they will have it submitted. But with this being said, if you are submitting any credits that will account for classes here at the College of Charleston, that will be evaluated and completed before your orientation date. So you'll know what classes you've already met requirements for, and you can actually build your schedule out with your campus advisor through that process. We're going to make sure that we're checking the transfer equivalency database as well, because dual enrollment credits, we want to make sure that they are coming over and you'll know exactly what classes they need credits for and what will work for you. But once again, as it pertains to this, your final high school transcript is important, but your school counselor will have it as long as you let them know that CofC is your new home. Immediately following this slide, I believe we're going into the Honors College and more information on orientation. And I'll introduce my colleague, Laura Sanders, to take us the next step of the way.
Thank you, Fred Quick. I appreciate that. And thank you for joining with us for this important information as you join us at the College of Charleston. I am Laura Sanders. I'm Associate Director for the upstate of South Carolina, working with our in-state students. But as with anyone within our office, we are happy to work with all of our students. So I also would like to encourage you to take a picture of the slides as they come across if there's when you see important information that you want to be able to remember. So for those of you who have joined us and applied to and were accepted to the Honors College, congratulations. We're excited that you have chosen to spend your next 4 years with us at the college. Next, please. For our Honors College students, upcoming honors events for the admitted students, a virtual Honors College Student Ambassador Session on January 26th. Our interview weekend, which is done by invitation only, is February 4th and 5th, and that's back on campus this year. We're excited to host those students. Our Honors Diversity and Inclusion virtual event will be held February 23rd. Our Honors Experience Day is March 18th on campus, so we encourage you to come spend the day with us for that. And our virtual faculty panel is March 23rd. So all these events are specifically for our honors accepted students. And if you have any additional questions, we'll be in the chat. Well, you can reach out to Aaliyah James and within the Honors College. Next, please. Orientation. So we're super excited to have orientation back on campus this summer. But important for you as incoming students is to register for orientation. That registration will open in early March. So we want to encourage you to get registered for that. It's important for you to be able to plan your summer, to know that time that you're going to be on campus. This year we do have a limited overnight availability spaces for the students. So you want to log on as soon as possible in early March when that becomes available to try to secure that space for you. Important things to take care of prior to coming to registration. So once you have hopefully downloaded your My Charleston on your phone and you're going to access your My Charleston, register for orientation, there are some important things for you to take care of. We want encourage you to use the checklist at on the orientation website. Make sure that you're doing things like submitting your health forms, your immunization records, lawful presence if that's required of you, and submitting those dual enrollment information. As Mr. Quick mentioned, we take those APIB dual enrollment courses. Your counselor will send us your high school transcript, but you want to make sure that that's just checked off on your list. And dual enrollment does have to come specifically from the school that you attended, even though it's already denoted on your high school transcript. We will need that official transcript from the technical school or for your university that you received that credit from. So you want to reach out to those registrar's office and make sure that that you have requested them, and then go to their checklist to see that we have secured those documents for you. So make sure to use your orientation checklist to see that you've done all those things prior to arriving on campus. That'll make it a seamless transition for you throughout orientation to get registered for your classes for the fall. We also encourage you to put the CofC email on your phone and to check it. It's not enough just to put it on your phone. We encourage you to check it frequently, because you will be, all our correspondence will go through those emails for the fall. Next, please. So we're, as always, we're going to continue to encourage you to visit the campus. Hopefully most of you have done so already, but I'm a firm believer that you're a different student now than you were back in the summer, or that you'll be in the spring. So we want to encourage you to visit campus, check out the Virtual Visitor Center on our website, and learn about all of our on-campus virtual events, and information sessions that we have coming up. Next, please. We do have some pre-college programs that we want to make sure that you're aware of. Spectra is a great program that we offer at no cost to our incoming students. Spectra stands for Speedy Consolidation and Transition Program. It is for African American, Latina, Hispanic, Asian, and Native and Indigenous American high school grads who've been admitted to the College of Charleston. Spectra is a summer program where students enroll in classes, they earn college credit, they live on campus, and they get to participate in a variety of programs and activities designed specifically to assist them with transitioning from high school to college. So we definitely encourage you, if this is something that you feel like applies to you and you would like to be involved in, you can go to our website and apply for that. Cougar Excursion is also a great opportunity for incoming students. It's a 3-day, 2-night interactive program specifically designed to increase new students' campus knowledge and facilitate a sense of community. The cost for that program is $250, and that does cover everything from your meals, housing, the activities, and transportation for the program. Applications are available through our Higdon Leadership Center website, and those applications will open in the spring. These programs are designed to build leadership skills within our students. Next, please. So what's next? We encourage you to get in touch with our Office of Admissions, although I think I'm supposed to pass this on to someone else, so I'm going to pass it along.
Thanks, Laura, and thank you, Fred. That was really helpful information and hopefully answered a lot of our questions for the students that are on. Just a quick reminder, we do have a few minutes left. So if you have questions that you'd like for Fred, Laura, or our counselors that are in the chat to cover, please drop those in the chat now, and we'll make sure to answer those before we log off. Any last reminders from our counselors? The students may be typing questions. All right, well, if you think of anything after we conclude this evening, I'm going to drop our admissions events email address in the chat here. And I encourage you all to email us if you think of anything afterwards, or of course, always email your admissions counselor. That's what they're here for. And just remember, we know that there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of excitement as you get ready to deposit by January 1. And so we are here for y'all. So get in touch with your admissions counselor, reach out to the Office of Admissions, and we're happy to help with any questions you may have. All right, well, I don't see any questions popping in right now. So we're going to conclude this evening tonight. Thank you again for joining us. And don't worry, we did record this session. So if you feel like you didn't take all the notes you wanted to, or just need a reminder, this will be emailed out to all students who registered and who were admitted early decision. All right, guys, thanks so much. Take care and have a great night.